Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for our ShareFile end user training, brought to you by Citrix Customer Success Management team. We're really excited to share all our tips and tricks of using your new ShareFile tool, so let's get started. Before we get started, depending on the licensing that you purchased, the tool may be called Content Collaboration, Citrix Files, or even ShareFile. The tool features are all the same, but just to avoid confusion as we're going through the presentation, we will use all three namings. We also have added a reference guide, so as we go through the slide deck today, you'll note that the reference guide is listed as a resource on the control panel here within GoToWebinar. So all the linked material that we go through today, you'll have access to even after the session today. We will also be taking questions throughout the presentation, so as you have questions, please enter them into the questions box also on your GoToWebinar control panel. You'll be able to enter in questions as we go, but we'll wait until the end of the presentation to go through all of the questions then. Feel free to ask for us to deep dive any of the features or even ask a question about a topic that maybe we haven't touched. We'll be more than happy to re-review or deep dive into that feature. For presenters today, we have Megan Kramer, Senior Program Manager of Customer Success, Kritika Sain, Senior Product Manager of Admin Experience, and our technical guru, Jose Yulico, Customer Success Manager in the Americas. For the agenda today, we'll be going over account setup, where you'll be able to locate your welcome email and sign-in page. We'll also go over your personal settings that you can update. And then we'll go into a deep dive inside the tool. We'll go over your dashboard, managing files and folders, being able to share your files and folders, and then also requesting files. Finally, for the third portion, we'll go over advanced features. We'll go over ShareFile Office Online Editing, Outlook plugin, Citrix Files for Windows and Mac, and then finally our print driver. So let's get started. The first section, again, is account setup.
Thanks, Meg. So before you get your hands dirty with ShareFile, let's go ahead and work through getting access to your account. The first thing you want to do when you get your ShareFile account is locate the email that was sent to you from your account administrator. Once you find it, you'll want to click on Activate Account to be directed to enter your name and create a password. After logging in, be sure to bookmark the page for faster access to your web portal. Going forward, you'll be prompted to enter your email and password to access ShareFile. If you ever need to reset your password, use the Forgot Password link on this page. Once you've gotten access to your account, you want to start to get familiar with your personal settings. Some of the main settings that stand out are 1. Edit your profile. So this is where you can change your password, update email addresses, and email notifications. The second one is personal security, where you can set up two-step verification, where you can use your phone to provide an extra layer of security for your username. You can either set up telesign or register a QR code to log in. The third and fourth one are personal cloud connectors as well as advanced connectors. Connect to one of the cloud services to access files stored there through ShareFile. This really helps you migrate your data without having to lift and shift from other data sharing products. And then the final one that we have here are apps and devices. Lock a user account on the device to prevent the user from accessing the ShareFile data on it.
Perfect, thank you, Kruti. So now let's take a look inside the tool. First, we'll go into personalized dashboard. Jose?
Thank you, Megan. So one of the things in ShareFile is that you are able to set your account as best suited. So one of the things that we have is the dashboard, and this is basically the landing page after you log on to ShareFile, and it's basically a place where you will be able to see shortcuts to the most common functions or files that you have been accessing, even folders. It has by default 4 tiles which you can choose to display or not by clicking on the Edit Dashboard. The sections are recent files, which is going to show the 5 files that you have been accessing most recently. And this is an easy way to go back to files that you were previously working on. Shortcut section will allow you to button to the most common tasks and features on share file, so you can start working right away, sharing or requesting files as an example. The tutorial section will have a selection of articles and videos, which will be categorized for navigating easily through them, and it's a great resource for people, especially starting using the application. The favorite section will allow you to shortcut files and folders that you mark as favorites in order to save time in case that you are looking for files and folders that you need to access frequently. Then you have the option to create personal folders. All employee users are assigned a personal folder by default. This personal folder, you will have full administrator rights on it and on any subsequent subfolders that you create in the personal folder root section. So you will be able to create and delete folders and files, add users, and determine the specific permissions that you want to set for them. In order to do this, you will have to click on the white plus sign, and this will display a menu with the actions available. This is the easiest way to create new folders. Right-click on any folder or file will display the available actions for those specific folders and files. Multiple items can be selected, and this changes the available options that you have. The shared folders will display any folders that other users have shared with you. The actions that you might perform in these folders will vary on the specific level of access that you have been granted previously by administrator. Creating folders in the root level of shared folders is a specific access that might be revoked when creating employee users. This helps administrator to have a better managing of the file structure. Users with admin rights to specific shared folders will have the same level of control that they have on their personal folders. Right-clicking on an item will display the actions available for the specific selection of files and folders. So for the folder settings, we have the folder expiration date, and this is the date when the folder and all of the items inside will be deleted. The file retention policy, on the other hand, will allow you to set a specific amount of days, after which the files inside this folder will be deleted, but the folder will remain. File versioning will allow you the option to create a new version of a file instead of overwriting the file. Sort order will allow you to set default sort order fields, and you can have this apply to your subfolders. The folder template will allow you to select a folder template previously created by an administrator to apply the folder structure to this specific folder. The storage zone will allow customers to manage the storage zones, and this will allow users to change the storage zone from a specific folder. Now, in order to add users to a folder, the admin's right will be required on that specific folder. Then you should click on People on this folder tab, and then just proceed by adding the user. By checking the boxes, you will select the specific permissions every user and distribution group will have on the folder. To add users, again, just click on Add People to Folder, and this will allow you to add multiple users at the same time and user group, and use a similar checkbox matrix to determine the specific levels of access. To remove users, then you just click on the checkboxes next to the names you want to remove, and then click on Remove Selected. Clone User will allow you to add a user with the same access level as the selected user. So let's see how this works.
Okay, now let's take a view at the dashboard. So the dashboard is basically the landing page after you log on to the Citrix share file. And this is going to be the view that you will have as soon as you log on. So as you can see, we have by default 3 default sections over here at the center. So we had favorites, where you can actually check on the folders that I have and files that I also have marked as favorites, right? The recent files, which is going to show me the top files that I have been working on. A list of 5 will be displayed there. Shortcuts down below, where I can actually start working on the most common functions on share file. So I can start sharing and requesting files, for example. And also, you need to know regarding the dashboard that you can drag around sections and then just place them as you want to. You can also click on Edit Dashboard and perhaps add a different section here as an example tutorials. So you will know how this section here that is going to give you some useful videos and links for different topics that you might need to check on. I strongly recommend to check on this, especially when you are starting using ShareFile, to learn a little bit more about the application. We also have the folder sections over here. So I'm going to show you how to create a folder, right? I will be creating this folder in the share folder section here. And what I will do will be just to go to the plus sign here, click on create folder, right? I'm going to name this one financial, right? As you can see, when I'm creating a folder, I have the option to add people to this folder. However, I'm not going to do that because I will do it a little bit later. All right. Once you create a folder in ShareFile, the system is going to take you inside that folder so you can start working on the folder that you just created, right? As you can see at this moment, this folder is empty, but perhaps I may need to add some people first before I start adding some documents in there. So let's do that. As an administrator, I have the option to view these people on this folder tab. So you will be able to add people from this view, right? Just clicking on this tab. And by going to the add people to folder, which is this blue button here. What I will do will be to then look for a peer or a user that I have already registered in ShareFile and just apply the permissions to that person. So as you can see, as I selected my peer Tatiana, I will be able to give her the default access, which are view, download, and upload, right? And with the default notifications. So let's click on add. And there you go. This is how you can add someone to a folder.
Great, thank you, Jose. So now let's go into managing files within the folders. To add a file, it's pretty simple. Just click on the blue circle with the white plus sign, and you'll be able to see where you can upload a file. That will be the simplest way to do it from within the web browser. But additionally, you can also do drag and drop. Simply pick up the folder from your desktop and drag it to the web browser to drop the file. This will allow you to add multiple files at once if needed. Additionally, we can go into file versioning. Jose, would you like to cover file versioning?
Yes, Megan, thank you. File versioning is a feature that might be enabled on ShareFile. It's both an account-wide policy and a folder-specific setting. So folder administrators might override account-wide policy. There's no limit to the maximum number of versions that might be stored of any specific files. So files that have multiple versions will display the blue sheet of paper icon. And clicking on the icon will display the different file versions that are available. So you will be able to select which one do you want to download or delete in case that you have such right. Any files with the exactly same name file and file type will be automatically saved as the latest version. This ensures that no changes will be lost between updates or edits, and that there will be no file overwritten. If a user attempts to download a file that has multiple versions, the latest version will be the one that will be downloaded by default. To access previous versions of a file, just click on the blue version of icon, and by default, the file versioning will be saving unlimited versions of a given file. The account default is to have an admin user on the account. Changing this, but by default will be enabled. The file check-in and check-out. So the file check-in and check-out prevents users from uploading different versions of the same document while another has locked the document. So to check documents out, you may right-click on the item, then check the box next to the item name and click on More. Then this will allow you to select the option to check out. When you check out a file, a message will display and just to confirm, and you will see an icon, an orange icon that will also let you know that the file has been checked out. If a user attempts to upload a document with the same name to the same folder, they will see an error message shown there, and it will let them know that the file has been checked out. So they won't be able to upload the file until the file is checked back in again. You might discard the checkout at any time by right-clicking on the item and selecting the Discard Checkout. You might upload a new version of the file by right-clicking on the item and selecting Check-in. This option will take you to the upload page to upload a new version of the file. Sharing files and folders. To display the share options, users can do either or both. You can check the boxes next to the items that I want to share, or else just right-click on the item that you want to share and click on the share button that is displayed. When clicking on the shortcut section, the share menu will not display any content to be shared. The other two options will show the items that were checked. All of this will take the users to the share screen where they might choose from the available sharing options. Sharing files. So once you get a file to share, you have two main options, either email with share file or get a link. The recipients will not have to be added beforehand to the account because you will have the option to edit the message options and then add them. You can also change the notifications, expiration date for the link, and the require users to log in options. Also, be sure to know that the requesting files has exactly the same process and the same options. So let's see how this works.
Okay, there's a couple things that you need to know. So this is a folder view, and we're going to discuss about the files. So the first thing is how to upload a file to ShareFile. You have different ways to do that. So you can always go to the plus sign here, click on Upload, and this will bring you to a screen where you will be actually able to select a file or browse a file on your computer. Or a simpler way to do this is actually to just have your File Explorer open there, look for the file that you need to upload to ShareFile, and then just drag and drop it over here, right? As you can see, it's quite simple and fast, and depending on the file size, it's going to take a little bit longer than usual, but it's going to be there. You're going to get a notification about the upload here, and also who was the person that uploaded the file, all right? Speaking about files, there's a couple of things that we need to be aware of as well. So file versioning. File versioning is a feature on ShareFile that will allow you to keep different versions of a file available for everybody that has access to a folder to check on. So you're going to notice that a file has different versions on it because you will notice a blue sheets icon towards the right. And if you hover over the mouse, it's going to let you know that this file has multiple versions. So by default, the latest version that has been saved will always be available right here. So you can just click on it and download it. If you want a different version, you can click on the blue sheets and then select the version that you want to go back to and download that version, right? So this is great because you will be able to forget about overwriting a file by mistake, and you can always go back to previous versions of files, right? Also, if you want to make sure that you are the only one working on a file at this very moment and that nobody else that has access to this folder is going to tamper with that file while you're working on it, you can always check out a file. You can do this by right-clicking on the file that you're going to work on and then click on the checkout function. As you can see, the system is going to let you know that the checkout will expire in 24 hours if no other action is taken on it. So by doing this, I'm going to pretty much let this file locked so everybody else will know or will get a notification whenever they try to open this file that this file is currently being worked on by myself. So they will get a similar message letting them know when the locked-out or the checkout would expire, right? By doing this, I'm making sure that nobody else will modify this file while I'm working on it. And then when I'm done, I can, save the new version of the file by uploading it, or I can just right-click back on the document and click on Discard Checked Out. All right. Well, now the last thing that you need to know about files is how to share them. So the easiest way for me to share a file is, as I just did, just mark the file here, click on Share, and then you will have two main options to share the file. Email with share file, and this way you will have to specify who are going to be the recipients of this file. So you need to know who is this file address for, and get a link, which will allow you to basically create a link to this file. So whoever gets access to this link will be able to download the file. And the main difference is the audience. So with this one, email with share file, you need to specify the audience. While getting a link will allow you to just copy a link, and it's going to be for an open audience, since anyone that has access to the link will be able to share the file. So right now what I will do is just click on email with share file, looking for a contact that I already have in share file. All right, add a small subject. If I want to add a message, which is optional, I can do so. I'm gonna leave it as it is right now. And then I'm going to click on send. There you go. I will get confirmation that the item was sent successfully. And this just to let me know that my coworker Tatiana will be receiving that file.
Great, thank you, Jose. So now let's go into advanced features in the portal. The first one being Office Online Editing.
The ShareFile Office Online Editing will allow you to edit documents online using ShareFile. So a customer that owns an Office 365 licenses will benefit from the ShareFile Office 365 integration because it will allow them to, create new spreadsheets, Word documents, and presentation on any folder where they have upload rights. And also they will be able to edit any of those Office 360 compatible files on any folder where they are located. So and as long as they have rights. So users will simply need to complete the login when they are prompted to the Office 365, and Office 365 will automatically be stored within ShareFile. So those credentials will be saved there. The customer that owns Office 365 will also have the option to collaborate online with another peer that has access to the same file. Also, the Office plugin. The Office plugin is another tool that ShareFile has made available for customers that will allow them to use the Office application in order to start sharing and requesting files in a more easy way using their Outlook tool. So in order to share documents when composing a new email, you can click on the Attach Files in the Citrix Files ribbon. The files are not attached to the email per se. So this helps circumvent file size limitations for attachments. So to request documents, the request links are displayed as hyperlinks that you can click, and users might change the text to a phrase that better suits their company needs or branding. And you can also create a direct link in your email signature. So let's see how this works.
Okay, now let's take a look at online editing, which is a function that ShareFile has, but you will need to have your employee user with an Office 365 license assigned, so they will be able to do the online editing. I'm going to pick any of the Microsoft Office files that I got here. As an example, this template. And you're going to notice that it's going to let you know that it's a Word Online document. So over here, we'll have a preview of the document, and I will have some of the basic functions for the Word Online. But what I want to do is to edit the file. So I'm going to click on Edit, which is on the right panel. And on the next screen, I will be able to work on this document online. So no need to open Microsoft Word to start working on that. As you can see, this is a ShareFile document, saved to ShareFile, but it's still a Microsoft Word online document. So all I need to do will be to type in here or do the modifications that I need to do. Notice that at the top it says saving as I'm making changes to the file, and when it's ready, it's just gonna read save to ShareFile, right? So you know that every time that you do something new, a modification is gonna be saved as the new version of the file. If I want to save this file, basically I just need to exit out, and the new version of the file will be saved there, right? So now let's talk about the Outlook plugin integration. So in order for me to work on that, I'm going to show you my Microsoft Outlook here. You're going to notice that this application is installed on your Outlook because you will have this blue options button over here where you can control how do you want this plugin to behave with your Outlook. So if I click there, I will be able to change the general settings, which will allow me to see how I do want ShareFile to interact on the attachments. So whether I want to convert all attachments to a ShareFile format, or if I want to convert the attachments that are over 5 megabytes, something like that, or just the ones that I choose. By default, the option will be set to automatically convert attachments over 5 megabytes, but you can change this. You can also change the expiration policy, which is defaulted to all of the files that you send as attachments. And if you want to show the ShareFile icon, which you will see in a bit. So let me just save this feature, click on OK here. And now let me show you how an email that you're composing with the Outlook plugin is going to look like. So I just create a new email, and you see that from this view, it's pretty much the same. I will have a couple of extra buttons there available, like the encryption. If you want to work with share file encryption, you can do so. This is going to add an extra layer of security to the documents and emails that you're sending, right? Also, we have here on the right a couple other features that this plugin is going to give you. As an example, you can start attaching files from here, requesting files, or even initiate workflows. So what I'm going to do here is to send an email to my coworker Tatiana, right? And I'm going to attach a file that I have on my share file. When you click on attach files, you're going to notice that it's going to give you two options, from PC or from Citrix. From Citrix is going to be from your share file account. So you will be able to pick a file or folder that you have access to on your share file account. So let's do that. You see that I have the option to select different ones. So if I go to favorites, I should be able to just go and pick one of the ones that I got here, right? Let's pick this one. And there you go. Once the file is attached in share file format, it's not going to send a huge attachment regardless of the size of the document. So basically what you will be sending out to your contact there is only a link on a banner format that is going to give them the access to download this file securely from my share file account from the cloud. So I'm just going to send this to my peer, right? And wait for her response back. And there you go. The message has been sent.
Now, Citrix Files is a tool that ShareFile has made enabled for both Mac and Windows users, and this will allow the users to have an easier way to access what they have access to through the portal. So, as an example, you will see that accessing the ShareFile will be easier because on Windows you will have the Explorer interface, and what you basically will have is a network drive-like interface that will allow you to access the content that you have been granted access to. We also have the print driver. So the print driver is basically a printer emulator that will allow you to upload a file to ShareFile instead of printing it out. So the way it works is that you will be able to select a file and then print it through the print driver option. So the print driver will take that file and it will give you the option to just not save it into ShareFile, but also take it for directions. As an example, you can share the file to another party using ShareFile, or you can send it out to be used as an e-signature document, which requires the right signature integration.
All right, now let me show you the print driver. So the print driver will basically allow you to emulate a physical driver, but instead of printing out physical pages, what you will be doing is basically converting any TXT, Word document, or PDF into a PDF that will be saved into your ShareFile account, or that you will be able to use on ShareFile. So let me show you how it works with this document. So let's say that I need to print out this document, ShareFile. So I'll go to File, Print. And here, instead of picking up any of my physical printers, I will just select the Citrix Print to Share file, click on Print. And what's going to happen next is that I will have the window of Share file telling me where I need to save this document within my Share file account. So let me show you here. There you go. This is the document that I will be saving. As you can see, the format will be PDF, meaning that even though this document was initially a Word document, it's going to be printed out as a PDF within my ShareFile account. So I'm going to save a PDF copy of that document instead of doing a physical printing, actually. Over here, I will just need to select where do I want to save this document. I'm going to just save it on my clients folder. And then I can click on Upload Only. Or if I want to take more actions within ShareFile, I can just click on more actions here. And as you can see, I can email with ShareFile, copy a link to the file, send it for signature, which will require right signature, or with SFAX. At this moment, I'm just going to upload it only. You will see a progress bar, and there you go. Then you will get a confirmation that the message has been successfully uploaded to the client's folder, as I did. Over here, you can take additional actions if you want to, right? And you will basically going to have the same actions that I showed you before, or you can just close out the window knowing that this file has been saved on your ShareFile account.
Perfect. Thank you, Jose. So now we've gone over all of the features that we outlined in the beginning agenda. Now we'd like to go over any questions that you may have. Again, feel free to add questions to the control panel on the right-hand side of your screen. It looks like we do have a few coming in, so we are ready to answer any of those questions.
Hello, everybody. This is Jose Yalico, and today we will have Jonathan Martinez helping us, answering some of the questions that we are getting here. Please remember that this is a space for you guys to pretty much ask away all the questions. Even though we have some already here, we try to pick them up randomly, so there's always a chance to, pick up your questions, right? So, Jonathan, thank you very much for joining us today. It looks like the first question is regarding the security. So it says, why don't all options for security involve a username and password for links? This was asked during the review on the Outlook plugin, so perhaps you can walk us through some of the security options.
Thank you, Jose, and thank you very much for your question. That's a very, very good question, and actually have a nice answer for it. ShareFile is a very, very dynamic tool that you can customize and you can adapt to your business needs, which is really good for you. Now, keep in mind that, this is an end user training, but in case you're interested, you can engage your ShareFile admin, and they can help you to configure and customize ShareFile accordingly. Now, as admin users, they will have this extra tab, this admin settings tab. So from here is where you can customize the security settings for the Outlook plugin. This question is specifically regarding the Outlook plugin. So basically, you just need to click here, admin settings, and then advanced preferences, and enable ShareFile tools. So here's where you can customize the Outlook plugin. You can just scroll down a little bit, and then here under configure plugin, you will see right on the top the option. Let me take a look right here. Under link options, you see download info level. So you can set as default the security settings you like, for example, anonymous. So that will allow users to share or request files, and then the recipients will have three options available. So if you select anonymous, that will allow the recipients to just click on the links and download the files without any kind of authentication. However, if you choose name and email, that they won't need to enter any kind of password, but they will be required to enter at least their name and username. So keep in mind, this is highly recommended because as part of ShareFile, admin users will have the option to run reports, run usage reports by not only account-wide, but also by user and also by folder. So with that, what I'm trying to say, if you want to see who has access to your files and folders, you want to know at least their name and email address. So that's highly recommended. However, again, you have the option to allow anonymous access. Now, the third option, login required. This is the option in which you will need to enter your ShareFile username and the password. And you may ask, what about if I have a user that is not added to my ShareFile account yet? That's not a problem. If you select that option, once you send the link, once they click on the link, the recipient click on the link, they will be prompted to create a username and a password. And guess what? They will be added to your ShareFile account as client users by default. So that's the way it works. If they are already added to your ShareFile account, then they will only need to enter their email address as their username and the password they created. If for any reason they do not remember their password, they just click forget password, and then they will get a link to their email so they can create a new one. So easy as that. But to answer the question again, just to recap, here's where you can customize the default setting. If, for example, I select login required, with that action, what I'm doing, I'm configuring ShareFile in a way that every time I send a shared link or a request link, the user will be prompted to enter the login. That means the username and the password. I hope that answers your question. Thank you.
Hi, yes, Jonathan. Thank you very much. It actually does. So it looks like we have a follow-up question to that one, and it's related to whenever you're sharing a document using get a link, I believe. So if the question is regarding that, that since this is let's call it like a wider way to actually share something, meaning that you're not specifying who is the recipient, right? Because you're just generating a link. Therefore, this option does not include a way to pick up, collect, or to have the user sign in, because the logic for to gather a sign in before you share something is because you are actually sending it to someone directly, right? So, Jonathan, perhaps you can explain us briefly the two ways to share a file, like with using the link and the email with share file from the web interface.
Thank you, Jose. Of course, definitely, that's a very good question, and you can do this easily from the ShareFile web portal. And keep in mind, we have many options so you can share and request files. Again, on the upper right corner, you have the Apps tab, in which you can download some of our applications. We have Citrix files for Windows. We have Citrix files for Outlook. So you already saw that in the previous webinar or during the training session. Just keep that in mind. For now, we will focus on the web portal. So again, you just need to go to sharefile.com, or you just need to go to the subdomain. That's the link in order to access your account. If you do not remember your password, you can just click forget password and create a new one. Just keep that in mind. So here under on the dashboard, you have four main sections. You have recent files, shortcuts, tutorials. So the most important one is the shortcuts. Here you can see the options. So you can share files and you can request files. Also, you can just go to the folder itself. You have personal folders, which is the level of your ShareFile account. You can share folders, and within this section, you will see all those folders that you have been granted access to. So if someone else shared a folder with you, you will see that folder displayed here under shared folders. Now, once you have that, you can just right-click. That's the easiest way. So you can share files. You can request files as well, or you can just go to the folder or the file itself, right-click, and then you have two share options. You can email with ShareFile or get a link. Okay, if you select email with ShareFile, you will be using the ShareFile email service. So you won't need to be logged into any other email service. You can do it from here. Also keep in mind, if you're working on ShareFile and the mobile application, we have applications for iOS and also for Android, you will be able to use exactly the same ShareFile email service. So that's very good. Now here under, if you want to send an email and share a file by email, the only thing you need to do is to select a recipient. You can enter any email address. It doesn't matter if the user is not added to your ShareFile account. You can just go ahead and enter the email address. Another option, you can just click here and the address book, and then select any of the users you have available. You can select the personal address book, the shared address book, or any distribution group. For this, I'm gonna select Jose and just add Jose. You can add, of course, multiple recipients. Also, you can enter the subject, any message. This is an option that, which is optional. And since you right-click on the document, this is the form that I want to share. You will see that form right there on the right side. Okay, and keep in mind you have options, so you can edit this share link. You can set up notifications. You can set up security. Again, this is an option. So recipients are prompted to enter their username and the password. Also, you can allow recipients to have control of the file, or you can select the view only option so they can just open the file and see it, but they won't be able to download the actual file. You can set up expiration. If you select never, that link will be open for them to get access to that file. However, if that is not a good idea for you, then you can just click after 1 day, after a week, and with that action, what you're saying to the system is just expire that link once that time frame is passed. And those are basically those options. When you're shared, you can just click down and click send, and with that action you will be sharing that file with your recipients. Now this is one option, right? At the beginning I was explaining you have this shortcut section here. You just click share files, and again you have the option to email with share file. If you select email with share file, you will have exactly the same option. However, this is another option. You can just click get a link, and with this action you can just browse the file. Let me browse one of the files that I have here, for example this Excel spreadsheet. And then you will see this link created. With this link, what you can do is just to share the link with anyone you want. Let's say, for example, you're on Skype with one of your customers or any of your teammates. Then you just click copy link and then share that link with them, and then they will be just required to click on the link and then get access to the file so they can download it. And again, based on the link options you selected, you can limit the downloads per user. You can set expiration, exactly the same that I mentioned before, and you can allow recipients for view only or have full control. Again, view only will allow users to open the file and see it, but they won't be able to download the actual file from the folder. So keep that in mind. And with this action, again, you just click copy the link, and then once the recipient click on the link, they will be able to get access to the file itself. I hope that answered your question. Thank you, Jose.
Yes, Jonathan, thank you very much for the information, detailed information. So I hope that helps to answer that specific topic. Now, we do have some more questions, but again, I just want to reinforce, if anyone has any questions, just let us know, and we'll try to pick them randomly. So from the other question that I got here is like, how do you edit files if you don't have Office 365?
Thank you, Jose. And for those who do not know, keep in mind if you're using Office 365, you have the option so you can edit your files offline. So that is an option available. So I just want to mention that for those who actually have and Office 365. As you can see, I have this Excel spreadsheet. Just by clicking edit, I will be allowed to edit the file, make changes, and those changes will save without the need to download any file or do anything. So that's a very good option. But to answer your questions specifically for those situations in which you don't have Office 365, the answer is really simple. You just need to update the file. You just need to click the option to download the file. Once you download the file, you can just go ahead and edit the file. Let me show you. I have this file downloaded. The file is opening. Here we go. I click enable editing. Let me enter just a word test. Okay. The file has been saved. Okay. Once the file is saved, you can just go ahead and let me show you real quick. Once the file is saved, you can just go ahead and upload the file again in the same location. Okay, let me look for the file. Just a moment, please. And once you upload the file, you will see the file will be created once again. Let me show you real quick right here. Just make sure you're using exactly the same name for the file. And as you can see, this blue sheet has appeared right here on the right side. With that, what the system is saying, you have multiple versions of the same file. So if you click here, you will see this is the current version. If I open the version, I will be able to see the word test on the first column. Okay, let's give it a moment. And also keep in mind the one below will be the previous version. In case, let's say you edit a file by mistake and you want to there you go. You see the A column. You see the test word. So as you see, the file has been updated really quick, and you have the previous version available. In case you want to go back, let's say you made a mistake and you want the previous file back, you will always have the option so you can download the file. Let me show you, and you will see the test word. You see it right here. This is the previous version. So that way you can keep the current version and the previous version. You can edit your files even if you don't have Office 365. So I think that will be it. Thank you.
All right, excellent. Thank you very much, Jonathan. So I guess that's a thorough explanation about how to edit a document without having the Office 365. Again, one of the benefit of ShareFile is the versioning. So remember, you don't have to worry about overwriting a version of a document. It's going to always be saved there on the history of the document itself, right? So that's another of the benefits. So following the questions, we have one here. Can you show us how to create a report of clients who have a username and password for ShareFile? So what I'm gonna ask you, Jonathan, is to see if you can show us how to create a user-based report, which will be from the users. I'm sorry, for the report main options, right? Just to let you know, whenever we are pulling out a report, every username that is going to be pulled out there, it will be a username that has a username and password, right? Because it will be from the address book, right? So we can do that. There are different ways. Jonathan is going to show us like directly how we can check on the clients in from the people section, right? How we can check on the clients. But also like pulling out the report. If you want to, like, let's start with the report, which is the most let's call it administrative task.
Thank you, Jose. And that's an important question. Keep in mind, if you want to run reports, you need to be a admin user. However, you can run some reports from the folders themselves. So let me show you first. And again, if you're an admin user, you will have this extra tab. If you don't see this admin settings tab, that's okay. That means that you're only an employee user. You don't have admin rights. So the action you need to do in order to run this kind of reports is just to contact your admin, your ShareFile admin. So by clicking admin settings, you'll have here under company account information, this reporting section. Here is where you can run reports. This is very, very intuitive and very, very flexible. If you click create reports, you will have many options: usage, access, change, access change, storage detail, share requests. So many options available so you can run your reports. Let's focus on the access report, which is basically the question you're asking. Once you have the option to create reports, you can enter a name of the report, and you can run this report based on the entire account, user. If you select entire account, of course, you will include all users. It doesn't matter if they are employee users or client user, they will be added to this report. However, if you need something more granular, you can select user, and then you can just enter the email address, or click here on the right side, people as part of your ShareFile account. I only have a few users here on this account because this is a test account only. Keep that in mind. You have the option to create recurring reports. That means that you can create these reports, and those reports will be saved weekly, monthly. It depends on your selections. And also you can generate Excel files or CSVs. So let's say you want to select entire account. Once you select entire account, you just click create. And with that action, what you're doing, you see the report is being created here. And the only thing that you need to do is to take a look at the report. So that's one way. And this way you will see listed all people that has logged into your account, to any folder or any file, or even to the ShareFile account, to this web interface as well. So that's a good way to track access. However, if you want to track access directly from the folders, you have here more options, and you can go ahead and click view folder details. Once you click folder details, you can see all the name, the direct link to get access to the folder. Let's go to the folder itself, and now you will have the option under more options to view the activity log. So this way you can also track the activity within this folder. If you are an employee user, you don't have reporting access, this is a good way so you can track activity. As you can see, you have some activity types that you just need to check or uncheck. For example, if you just want to see, let's say, delete files and folders and the rest of options, then the first action is to select the folder itself. If you want to see all users, you can keep track of, you can customize, even if you want, you can customize the date, or you can just select the defaults. It can be today, or last 1 week, last 1 month, last 2 months, even 3 months. Once you have that, you just click export, and that way you will be able to get access to the folder activity log. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Jonathan. And well, I guess that's pretty much all the time that we had today. Thank you very, very much for all of you that were able to attend and to participate on this Q&A session as well from the webinar. Just as a friendly reminder that we are doing this webinars bi-weekly based now. And on Tuesdays, we are directing the webinars to ShareFile account administrators, while on Thursdays, we are directing the session to end users or either employees or clients, from what trying to help people on getting familiar with ShareFile. As always, please do let us know what you thought about this webinar. Please fill out the survey on your way out. And as a reminder, you have access to all of the reference resources that you saw through the webinar on the pretty much the handout section. So there should be a way for you to download the handout of these resources. Thank you once again, and we hope that you enjoy a wonderful day. Thanks a lot.